Greetings, this is Sundance, and in this study, we will delve into 5 components of 2 religious groups' interpretation of the beast in prophecy. On one hand, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe the British and American Empire to be the beast. On the other hand, the Armstrong Churches of God believe the beast to be a United States of Europe, spearheaded by Germany. Both groups refer to the historical significance that Europe has played in the personification of the beast. From Justinian to Charlemagne to Otto the Great, Charles V, down to Napoleon, there has been a strong connection to the Holy Roman Empire with its church. There is the connection that both groups believe in this dichotomy of a religious institution along with its empire that conquered the world down through time. Now, the Armstrong Churches of God differ in the identification of the end-time beast before the second coming of Christ. They believe the body of believers, or the church, must continue to look at a revived Holy Roman Empire situated in Europe, and that the leader will come out of a militant Germany. It makes sense because in the past, the pattern of emperors were from Germanic heritage. They believe that the 10 horns will represent the 10 nations out of Europe found in the book of Daniel, and that the beast or leader will ascend out of end-time Assyria, being Germany. Herbert W. Armstrong was born in the 1890s, so he witnessed Germany being the antagonist in World War I and World War II as an adult. He taught that Hitler and Mussolini were the 9th horn found in the prophecy of Daniel. The Armstrong Churches of God groups also believe that Britain, America, along with certain northwest countries in Europe, are Israelite nations from the lost 10 tribes, but now have been found. They believe that they will be punished and go through the Great Tribulation at the hands of the beast power. They call this another revival of the Holy Roman Empire. The Jehovah's Witnesses pick up the empire with the beast paradigm with the British Empire and the American Empire. They believe that the 2 countries represent the other beast that came up out of the earth, Revelation 13:11. They reference the 2 nations proclaiming to be Christian like a lamb, but speaking like the dragon or Satan. One thing that both groups agree on is that they understand that there is a mother church and harlot churches that descend from that mother church. Notice Revelation 17:5, and on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. They both have identified them as the Roman Church and its Protestant daughters that have come out from her as the same system of Mystery Babylon. They both have similar religious doctrines that have also involved themselves in global politics instead of coming out of this world, Revelation 18:4. The question arises, is just because a nation is mainly filled with the harlot portion, can that nation or nations still represent the beast during the end time? It's a legitimate question, because in my estimation, Mystery Babylon is a global entity and not just confined to one part of the world. But scriptures show a beast and a false prophet is a part of this system. Notice Revelation 19:20. Then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet, who worked signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark. Now I can see what both groups are looking at as far as the beast in prophecy. From the Armstrong group's perspective, they are looking for a revived Europe that will be militant with a religious leader. Why? Because for over 1,000 years, this has been a repetitive pattern, a militant Christian empire with a leader in that region of the world. Now, what I think these Armstrong groups ignore is the concept of an American empire, or even acknowledging that America is an empire. They have acknowledged the British Empire and its decline. But while they proclaim Germany to be the headquarters of the beast, they don't mention the Germanic ancestry within the British crown within their history, nor do they acknowledge the German heritage within American history. While nearly 15% of Americans have German ancestry, 30% of British DNA traces back to the ancestors of modern-day Germans. What the Jehovah's Witnesses are looking at is living within the American empire with the world's strongest military. They are looking at this empire's ability to control global trade and stocks. America has tech stocks as well that left Europe in the dust in the early part of the 21st century. America influences the trade of resources, although I think this is fading as other nations would like to get away from the dollar and its dominance. But does all this mean America is the beast? One of the characteristics of the beast is that it persecutes the people of God, or the church, as well as other people on the earth. Notice Revelation 13:7. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. This is a devastating world power that oppresses people. On the other hand, while the Armstrong churches of God understand this, they proclaim themselves to be of Israelite heritage. In doing this, they refuse to refer to the oppressions that the British and American Empire have caused on others. While admitting themselves as end-time Israel, they ignore the prophet's warnings about oppressing others in Isaiah 30:12 or Ezekiel 22:29. So it looks like, regardless of being the beast or not, empires have this trait in common. The other characteristics of both the beast and end-time Israel, wherever they ended up in history, is blaspheme against God. Notice Revelation 13:6. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. This is the beast. But look at what the prophet Ezekiel mentions about Israel. Ezekiel 36:21. But I had concern for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations wherever they went. The prophet mentions this several times in the passage, and to profane the name of the Lord is somewhat similar to blaspheme. So both groups are sort of guilty of this. The question is, what will become of America or Britain within this century and beyond? Will Armstrong churches be correct in their understanding of a revived system out of Europe? Or has God revealed something else? Or could it be one and the same? One thing is for certain, you don't want to be the superpower or the main empire when Christ returns. That means you were the beast. For it is written, Acts 4:25-26, who by the mouth of your servant David have said, why did the nations rage and the people plot vain things? The kings of the earth took their stand, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ. Whatever nation or kingdom is in place at the end time, Christ takes over the kingdoms of this world. Revelation 11:15. The end of the beginning sounds like this. In Revelation 11:18, the nations were angry, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that you should reward your servants the prophets and the saints, and those who fear your name, small and great, and should destroy those who destroy the earth. It's usually empires and powerful nations that have the capability to destroy the earth. This is a brief perspective of the beast from these two groups. This is Sundance. Take care, friends.